Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today we're going to talk about e-commerce, DeFi, and fintech. Why is this important? Well, at the end of the day, what makes crypto acceptable is ease of use and basically simplicity. The reason you're watching this and other videos and consuming articles and reading on Reddit and more is basically it's how you think this is going to affect you and me financially. Hell, I'm going to even throw GameStop into this whole mix of picture, this discussion right now, because if you have to look at the bigger picture, you have to zoom out. Now, I want to add some other ingredients to this whole mental alchemy of cryptocurrency. AMP, Flexa, Cardano, and Ethereum. These three are important, so let's get into this. The game changer for businesses on the internet all started way back with the development of something called Security Protocol, Secure Socket Layers, SSL. This is an encryption certificate created by Netscape in 1994. Maybe you don't know what this is, but it's used by all web browsers even today. This provides a safe means to transmit data over the internet. All of our web browsers right now, they're able to identify whether a site can be trusted. Basically, if it has an authenticated SSL, based on that, you can determine whether the site can be trusted or not. Now, jumping to now with e-commerce, you got to think about e-commerce has more back-end services because what does DeFi have to do with e-commerce? Well, let's take a look at how Fintech and DeFi are going to be working together. Now, Fintech describes how a variety of financial activities, for example, money transfers, depositing a check with your smartphone, basically any way you can bypass a bank, for example, applying for a credit card, raising money for a business startup, even just managing your investments, generally without the assistance of a person. So basically, instead of going to a teller or going to a bank in person, Fintech is actually able for you to help go around all of this. Now, one of the new protocols that come to my mind is Flex and AMP. There are a lot of other projects in crypto that come to mind, but I don't use Flex and AMP because, well, right now they've had a future growth, and they've announced that it's expanded its digital currency basket. And they offer now a huge suite of e-commerce plugins that enable merchants for the very first time to accept digital currencies via their online channels instantly. And that's, again, with zero fraud guaranteed. Now, this is huge. If you're familiar with AMP and the Flexa network, it's been around for a few years, but it's, again, this is a long-term plan with what they're doing. It's just in the early stages because anything new has to be tried and tested out. But again, what's important with this? Blockchain, crypto, and Ethereum, and smart contracts. Similar to what the SSL was, because now with smart contracts, they basically automatically execute transactions if certain conditions are met. You're basically taking the SSL contract through the web service instead of just having one transaction. You can specify certain conditions have to be met. Because with certain programming languages, as you'll hear, if I'm familiar with this, it's called Solidity. And they're specifically designed for creating and deploying these smart contracts in a more complex, but also efficient manners. Just to give you an example. If a user, you, want to send money to a friend next Tuesday, you can do that. You go online, send money. But maybe you want to say, hey, if the temperature climbs above 90 degrees, according to the weather channel, weather.com, you can write that into the smart contract. That is how important with Fintech and DeFi are going to be working. And the smart contracts is going to be upgrading all of this to basically enable a more complex way to handle money. Now, Fintech and DeFi work similar to financial institutions. Through a lot of these decentralized apps, providers can borrow funds. Funds are provided by people who open an account on the platform and deposit cash onto it. You're cutting out the middleman of all kinds of transactions. This is the primary advantage of decentralized finance. You're cutting out the middleman. Because direct purchases, they're not the only type of transaction or contract overseen by big companies. Financial applications, such as loans, insurance, crowdfunding, derivatives, sports betting, and even more are in control. Because this is just one piece of the puzzle. The second piece is a wallet. A wallet is basically your identity, it's a profile, and it has all of your information inside it. And again, the focus for information and not for the exploitation of data brokers and people and banks, but it's in your hands. It's your identity, and it's under your control. Why is a wallet? Well, all of these kind of link together into a bigger puzzle with DeFi, finance, and e-commerce. Now, why do I say GameStop, AMP, Flexa, Loopring, Terra, Luna, Cardano, ADA? Well, they've all added to this, and they're going to be major players in this new economic wave of basically how we interact, invest, and use crypto. These are just a fraction of the whole DeFi fintech ecosystem because it's expanding more as the markets open up. And as new systems of business develop new methods to really utilize fintech, DeFi, and e-commerce. And again, for all of this, it has to be easy enough that your grandmother can understand it and use it without understanding the technology and how it uses. Because right now, if you ask grandma, hey, how does your car work if you're going to drive from your house to Walmart? She's not going to be able to explain that. But if you said, hey, how does a credit card work? You put your credit card to the machine, take some money from your account, you pay it later. That's the ease of use that's going to be coming. And for Gamestop and Flexa, even the Loopring wallet, the Terra Luna, whole stablecoins, Cardano, ADA, the whole ecosystem here, these are just a fraction of everything that's happening. And it's just kind of surreal right now, this knowledge and opportunities that we have that we did not have when Amazon, Tesla, all these companies, Apple, Microsoft, when they started, they had to have venture capitalists getting millions of dollars into them. They became billionaires. And now, hopefully, for the next several years, we'll have an opportunity to, become a more stable, more financially viable ecosystem with whatever we're doing, especially with GameStop. NFTs, the market is developing, and again, it's an open slate. It's an open road, and pretty much businesses are going to be developing more and more all the time. So whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep educating. DeFi and FinTech, these are just some of the vocabulary going along. But again, in 1994, when somebody said SSL or e-commerce, people are skeptical about this. It might not work. I don't use my credit card online, somebody's going to steal it. Look where we are today. Same situation, different vocabulary, parallel time. Exciting. So all of you out there, keep learning, investing.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless. A sea of the aimless. I don't want to be one of the nameless. I'm a